Guys, I'm super excited for this, okay? A conference like this has never happened anywhere else in the world for people of your demographic. Because companies, universities, whoever, are not incentivized to do this for people of your age. And so we're super excited to host this. Before Navid starts talking about the rest of the day and how we're gonna move forward, I wanted to introduce us, tell you why we started TKS, and why we're hosting this conference today, okay? So over the past few years, we've both had some pretty interesting experiences. I was around the world in places like Japan, Australia, Europe, the US, working with Fortune 200 companies, so the world's largest 200 companies, directly with their CEOs on some of their biggest problems. And this was a really cool experience because I got to see what some of the most innovative minds were working on, where the money was going, and put some of the pieces together. At the same time, Navid, who is my brother, he started a tech company, so an enterprise security company, and he sold it to Box.com, which is like Dropbox, but for enterprise, pre-IPO. So they're a $1 billion company and doing some really awesome things. And he was leading their artificial intelligence team down there, went through a couple really big incubators. And incubators are places where sort of the Airbnbs, the Uber, some of the biggest companies in the world come out of. And so we're in Silicon Valley, which is in San Francisco. It's kind of the tech hub of North America. And we're seeing self-driving cars every single day, right? We're waking up to them every single day. We got to test VR technology 3 years before sort of Facebook bought Oculus. We were exposed to cryptocurrency and blockchain years ago, and we're fortunate enough to really get into that space. And when we reflected on our experiences, we asked ourselves 3 main questions. The first question is, why us? Why are we exposed to a lot of these really cool experiences, whereas most people who we grew up with in our traditional networks, like high school and university, aren't, right? They're not being exposed to genomics. They're not being exposed to crypto, what's happening in the world in AI and VR. And then the second question we asked ourselves is, why not us earlier, right? It's not a secret that Google is working on their self-driving car technology 6 years ago, right? Or a new gene editing technology was discovered called CRISPR that's going to dramatically change the way in which we live. And it's not a secret. The fact is just that there's not a lot of people, the system doesn't have the information or exposure to give you guys access to this information. And that's why we started TKS. We wanted to expose you guys to a variety of next-gen topics you would likely never be exposed to, ever, right? The things that are going to change the world in the next 5 to 10 years. We wanted to give you access to top-tier mentors early. The world is changing now. If you want to play a part in creating the future, you need to learn from the best in the world. So if you're interested in artificial intelligence, why not learn from the head of machine learning at Uber? If you're interested in quantum computing, why not learn from Eric at D-Wave, right? This is literally this concept about the best in the world. And then the third thing is we want to dramatically raise your expectations as to what you can achieve, right? A lot of the times we'll see young people and they'll have some really cool achievement and they'll be in the news. And we celebrate it, right, in the media. But why aren't we thinking, how can we create more of these? How can we institutionalize this to make sure that you guys can impact billions earlier on in your life? And this should be a life-changing moment for that. And so when I speak at schools across North America, right, I often ask students like you guys, where do you see yourselves in the next 10, 20 years? And I get some pretty inspiring answers. They say, I want to be the CEOs. I want to be the innovators. I want to be the thought leaders. But then I look at them and I say, okay, well, what are you doing differently than the person next to you? And it's silent, right? Okay, fine. How are you thinking differently than the person next to you? And still, most people don't have an answer. And so it's almost naive to think you're going to be in this place, right? Be that innovator, that thought leader and CEO without doing anything differently. And the reason why we're hosting this conference is to get you guys that kickstart, to get you excited, and hopefully leave here today doing something differently. So you can start that journey today. Cool.
So all of you guys were handpicked, okay? Like we had easily over 1,000 applications from across Canada. We actually saw some from like Seattle and New York, but we want to keep it to Canada. And we read over each one of your applications multiple times, okay? And so just know that everyone in this room has something to offer. And I remember reading through the Say Hi channel in Slack. And I know to a lot of you it might have looked intimidating that there's some people that have accomplished, a certain level of things that you might have not. And honestly, like at this age, it doesn't matter. You're not here because of what you've done, right? And I hope that I made that clear in the Slack when I posted that we never asked you, what have you done, right? That wasn't one of the questions. And so you're not here because of that. You're here because of what you will do. And that's the frame of mind I want you to have when you're meeting people around you. Because I don't want you to feel like, you're not as good as someone else because they won a gold medal in this thing and you haven't. Okay, and I don't want you to feel intimidated by other people. Like if you talk to some of the TKS students that are part of our longer term program, they're working on some pretty incredible things. And I encourage you to talk to them about it. But don't feel intimidated, because before they got into the program, they were just like you guys where you are, okay? And it's just the mindset and it's the time they put in to get to where they are, and this is still early for everyone here. And so remember that. It's not about what you've done right now, it's about what you will do. And have that mindset for everyone in this room. It's about what you guys will all do, hopefully together, okay? Now there's 3 reasons why you're here today. There's 3 reasons, and like our personal 3 goals for you. The first is ignite a spark, okay? So it's highly unlikely that you're gonna see these kinds of calibers of speakers talking about these topics anywhere, like Nadeem mentioned, anywhere in the world. And so the exposure to these topics all in one day, hopefully you find some sort of spark, some sort of interest, okay? And when you find that interest, do something about it. In school, you're trained to listen to a teacher, okay? When you grow up, your parents teach you how to walk, where to go to the bathroom. Like our whole life, we're trained to listen to someone else. You guys need to snap out of that mindset. You don't need someone to teach you. You can go get that information. You can go on YouTube. You can go on TED.com. You figure it out. So if there's something today that inspires you, that you feel even like an inkling of interest, again, that spark, go do something about it. Go pursue it. Go learn more about it. And you don't have any excuses. When I was your age, YouTube didn't exist. You guys have this crazy resource that you might use to watch memes or like cat videos or whatever. You can also use it for other things, okay? So that's number 1. We want you to get that spark, find some sort of interest area, okay? That's in a new emerging technology or science. The second reason why you're here is to meet like-minded people. I know when I was growing up, it was weird if I was interested in things like computers and programming, because at that time, it was just getting started, right? Like no one really even knew about Google and Facebook. And I felt weird by wanting to learn more about these types of things, and a lot of my friends just kind of wanted to play sports or, talk about gossip or whatever. I wasn't like that. I was super hungry for information. And all of you guys are also really hungry for information. That's why you're here. So meet people that are like you, that are interested in, these types of, geeky and nerdy things. Because guess what? That's cool now, okay? That's Mark Zuckerberg. That's Elon Musk. That's Steve Jobs. Like, that's in. And if you guys want to make a huge impact on the world, these are the people that you're going to do it with. So meet each other. Go out of your way to say hi. That's why you're here and not watching this from a computer screen, okay? The third reason why you're here is we want you to understand that the world is going to be significantly different in 10 to 20 years. This is super important because I'm telling you guys that your parents don't understand it, that your teachers don't understand it, that most people over 25 don't really get what's going to happen. Okay? And they're already in their jobs. They already know what they're interested in, and they've built their lives for themselves. You guys haven't yet. And you guys are getting exposed to these emerging trends and technologies and sciences early. And you guys can predict the future. You guys can see where this is going. Don't think that just because someone's older than you, they're smarter than you, okay? You guys will be able to put these pieces together and see how much a lot of these technologies are going to impact the future. And you're gonna see how important it is, and then you're gonna think, wait, why am I not being taught this outside of conferences like this? And it's because it's so new, okay? A lot of these topics didn't exist 5 years ago. And you guys are still learning the same things in school that we were learning when we were in school, okay? And so understand that the world's gonna be significantly different, and you are the ones that are gonna take it to that next step, okay? So the earlier you get exposed to these things and start doing something about it, like you have that head start, the bigger impact you can make. Cool? All right. So, we're doing the icebreaker. The reason why we want to do this icebreaker is because we want you to get comfortable with each other, okay? And how else to get comfortable with a selfie challenge? So this is the challenge. So you're gonna take selfies with people, things, whatever, till about 9:30, okay? So it's 9 o'clock right now. You guys have half an hour to take as many selfies as you can. And here's the thing, I need you to keep your time. There's a reason why there's a schedule on the back of your name tags. At 9:30, be back here, okay, sitting.
9:28, be back here.
So here are the different challenges that you want to take. The Wi-Fi password's on there, okay, so you can see that. I'm gonna count you down. And when I count down, get up and start going at it. Snapchat, Instagram, whatever, everything counts, okay? 3, 2, 1, go.